You run to a life transforming experience as Pastor Prince Abah brings you God's Word with deep insight and power. God bless you.
I started a teaching on what I titled The Philosophy of Wealth. Philosophy. And then my job tonight is not to explain what I started talking about. My job here now is to finish up, because there are two major stuff I didn't finish up on. I have to finish up those two major ones, and then I can move. So get the tape and deal with the other three. The first three I started dealing on. The first three. I talked about mindset. I talked about attitude. Then I think I have three more. I've done two. Then I'm going to talk about lifestyle, skill set, and the G factor. But if I have to lay a foundation again, just a summary foundation, I will remind you of what I said when I started teaching. That becoming wealthy, becoming successful, becoming great in life, first of all, starts with building a set of philosophy. It starts with building a set of culture. It starts with building a set of value system. Once a man's value goes wrong, he will end up in the valleys of life. Once a man's foundation is wrong, everything he's going to build on that wrong foundation will collapse. It doesn't matter how anointed, how talented, and how gifted a man is. No man builds a house on a faulty foundation and expect it to stand. So the subject of philosophy is very crucial if you're going to be a great man. Philosophy means culture. Philosophy is the guideposts. Philosophy is the cardinal, regulations, rules, the gromnoms, the regulations, and the foundational precept that governs a man's life. Let me say that a lot of people build their life on superstitious belief, build their life on superstition. They build their life on assumption. They build their life on doctrines that don't work. One of such assumptions you hear people often talk about is what we be will be. You hear people say things like, what God has prepared for me is mine. No matter what happens, nobody can take it. You hear people say things like, that guy is a lucky guy. That guy luck don't shine. There's that story of a young lady who, was driven from school. You may have heard about that story. It's a viral story. The young small girl who was driven from school. And on her way back, a young lady, a couple ladies saw her and then videoed her. Was asking her, why are you crying? And she said they drove her away from school. And then she just did a careless video of the girl and posted it online, and then it went viral. And then people started showing the little girl for ranting and for quarreling and for being angry on the phone that they drove her instead of beating her. People started coming to the school, coming to the girl's house to favor the lady. And then that for her was how she blew and got money. The family's fortune changed. They even said America and Canada wrote the family and said they should bring the lady. They got the lady free visa, free passport, and then the government got to know about it. In fact, the governor of Delta State ended up building a new school for them. And then people say, that's luck. How that happened, they can't explain. They said the girl's name is Success, so she just stumbled. Even the girl who videoed her didn't know it was going to turn out that way. A pastor even called the copper girl and gave her 2 million because nobody remembered that one. So when they were asking her in the church if she knew that stuff was going to happen, the viral news was, she said she didn't know, that she was recording it for fun. But it went viral. Now, it now turned that lady into a celebrity overnight, the small girl called Success. Everybody now knows her everywhere. And at least she now has access to better education. But the question is, how often does such fortune happen? How often do you hear of such a thing? There are people who they drive out of school and then that's the end of their schooling. There are people who have done other videos to express their grievances with their school before now. In fact, after that, I went back to research. I went on YouTube and I saw there are videos people have done expressing their dissatisfaction with the educational system of Nigeria, with their school and all that. I saw some video, and then what is shocking is that nobody knew about such videos. Nobody came to their rescue. So I came to find out that what you call luck is 2% of life. The rest of the 98% of life is built on principles. So luck is another word another word for luck is what we call miracles. So the social man or the secular man calls miracle luck. We call it miracle. That's the same way it is. Miracles are usually 2% of what we do. How are you, sir? God bless you. Miracle is built on 2%. Everything we do, miracle, 2%. Go for crusades. You find out there are more people who can see than people who are blind. There are more people who can walk on their own than people who are crippled. There are more people who are hearing than there are people who are deaf. Go for crusades, you see. So you see, a greater portion of what we do in our crusades, all the miracles, you celebrate, you shout, that blind eyes open, all that happened, is 2%. God did not build the church to run on miracles. Christianity was not built to run on miracles. As a matter of fact, miracles, signs, and wonders are advert. They are used, or they are meant to be used to compel people into the kingdom. Miracles, testimonies, all those deliverances and breakthroughs and all those things people celebrate. He was deaf, now he can hear. All those things are things we use to show people that Jesus is truly real. So you can also say miracles are products of grace. Grace itself is also 2%. Christianity that you're building on grace is 2% of Christianity. Christianity cannot stand on grace alone. Because grace is how Jesus laid the foundation of Christianity. That's not the building. How many of you go back home and live in the foundation? If you go to your village now for Christmas and then all that your father built was the foundation of his house, are you going to live there? He didn't complete the building. Are you going to live there? So this is it. Let me shock you. When Peter got the revelation about who Jesus was and said, "You are Christ, the Son of the living God," Jesus now said, "Flesh and blood did not reveal this to you." He said, "But my heavenly Father which is in heaven." He now said, "Upon this rock." Is that where he stopped? He added, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail." The rock is grace. But what do you build on that thing? That's what you call truth. He said, "Upon this rock I will build." You see where the whole grace boys get it wrong. They end the gospel at the level of grace, at the level of miracles, at the level of God will do, God will do, God will do, take, receive it, collect. They end it at that boundary. That's rock. That's foundation. But Jesus didn't end at foundation. He said, "Upon this rock I will build." Building is deliberate. Building is an assertion. It's something you must do. It's not something you will get by sitting down. It's work. It's labor. I will build. I will build. I will build. So you can be a grace boy, a grace believer, a grace preacher, that the gate of hell is still prevailing against. Is because you don't have certain building truths. And you're like, somebody hearing what I'm really saying? So, the man who is broke, the man who is poor, the man who is... I give you an example. If you're sick now and I lay hands on you, you'll be recovered. You'll be healed automatically. You'll be healed. But After healing you of that sickness, I won't lay hands on you to keep you in health. For you to be in health, you need truth. Grace can provide the healing, but truth keeps the health. It keeps the healing. You can get a car now by grace, by miracle. For you to keep that car, you need truth. That's what we call principles. And then John chapter 1 verse 17 said, Jesus came full of grace and truth. It's not grace alone. It's both grace and truth. You can marry a good man by miracle if you want. You can marry a good woman by miracle, but you need truth to keep the relationship, to build the relationship. That relationship is going to be built not by grace, not by miracles. It's going to be built by truth. The secret of successful marriages is not grace. It's not favor. He that findeth a good wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. It's not favor that abuse it. You can find it by favor. But what you found by favor, you can lose by ignorance. It's not grace that keeps healthy relationships going, that keeps important relationships. It's truth. So what do you think God meant when he said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge? If you have problems in your finances, and then we have bound the devil, destroyed, maybe there's a cause, a generational cause or whatever, that is flowing in the family line, stopping the people from being wealthy, stopping them from having access to funds, to money and all that. When we finish binding all those things and dismantling the devil and sending him packing, you are now free. But do you know that you are free or set free doesn't mean you have now been made free? Being made free is different from being set free. Deliverance sets you free. Knowledge makes you free. So when a man has been prayed for, you have bound all the demons who are giving him problems, all the ancestral forces, you have done all those fallen and die things. And then if you end there, you just go back and sit down. The truth of the matter is that the demons have gone, but you have become the new demon. You are now the new demon dealing with yourself. Because what you got out by grace, what you now have done by grace, you now need truth to build on it. You now need truth to establish it. You now need principles. And this is where the church is in a big mess. This is where the church in Africa is in a big mess. This is where Africa as a whole is in a big mess. Mineral resources everywhere. Wealth everywhere. Treasures everywhere. Yet people are poor. Go back and get the previous messages I preached. It's a whole compendium. I want to finish it this night because I don't have the time to. I want the tapes to be produced in a whole CD format. Not just soft copy, hard copy. So that you can pick it and stay on it. I listened to those things I was teaching on and I was wowed. I said, where are even these things coming from? They are heavy. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? Truths. Truths. So we know the 2%. Salvation, miracles, healings, breakthrough. We know all that. But 2%. You can still be beaten in life with all your grace. Grace is what makes Christ's provision available. But truth makes them accessible. You know what I'm saying? Truth is key. Truth is key. Principles are keys. They are keys. They are keys. You use them to unlock doors. You use them to unlock doors. That's what truth is. No matter what is in this building now, and you are outside, you don't have the key to access this door. You're going to be stranded there with all your prayers. Everything inside here, they are yours. But because you don't have the key to enter here, you're locked outside there, stranded. It's truth. God gave us principles to simplify our life. You trivialize principles, you will hinder miracles from happening. Because the truth is that you can produce your own miracles by just knowing principles and understanding them and applying them. Every day you keep getting miracles. Where others are, okay, I was asking somebody one time, how many times they pour oil on Dangote's head to be who he is? The problem with Africa is that we are superstitious in our thinking. We are not. It is grace and truth, not grace alone. There is truth. The one we run for is the one called grace. But the major thing that Jesus left us here with, called truth, we don't want that one. We don't want teachings. We don't want training. We don't want mentorship. So put a crusade now, call it Power Must Change Hands Crusade. Wow. You see people who are ready to jump out at 12 a.m. in the night because they are going for one Power Must Change Hands meeting. And they are willing to jump Molo, jump all kinds of buses, jump all kinds of 911 because they want to go and watch charismatism. So what is Africa falling for now? Color of pants, color of bra. Have you seen that most people they give those prophecy to, check them after 7 years, they are worse. Because even prophecy cannot stand on its own. It can't stand on its own. They give you prophecy, you must put the prophecy through processes. I see you here, you're going to be a billionaire in 10 years. In 1 year. Hey, you're a billionaire. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You have not seen the reality of that. Because how do you convert prophecy into reality? Is by putting truth under prophecy. It's by bringing principles under prophecy. If God promises you a great future and you do nothing about it, God is helpless about your life. God is helpless about our future. He can't do nothing. The journey to your future is not God who is going to take it for you. It's not God who is going to undertake it. You're the one who will undertake it. So, let's see if we can capture a few things. Okay, look at John chapter 1 verse 7. See, for the law was given through Moses, but grace, and not grace or you don't choose the one you want. It's just like, for instance, you want to go and choose truth alone and ignore grace. You're going to go to hell. You're going to have struggles still. Because grace, there are things grace takes care of, truth can't handle. There are things truth also take care of. You can't depend on grace alone to take care of that. For instance, no matter how many truths you know, truth can't give you salvation. So grace is where salvation is found. No matter how many truths you know, if you are oppressed by demons, truth can't check them out. It's grace. The power of God are all gifts of grace. Miracles are gifts of grace. The anointing are supplies of grace. Healing is supply of grace. All those things that happen spiritually, supernaturally, that principles cannot handle, are all product of grace. So you need grace to handle those ones. There are things that you can't handle by knowledge. A guy can be too intelligent, can be gifted, can be talented, but still failing in life. He's working hard and nothing is working for him. He's doing everything and nothing is working for him. At that point, what he needs is not just truth. He needs the supernatural power of God now to judge those things that are dealing with him. It could be foundational causes. You won't use truth to handle it. What you need to deal with that one now is God's power. And that one is found in grace. So if I want to deal with somebody now who is having problem in his finance, for instance, ancestral causes are dealing with his finances, his business, I bring grace and I deal with the power and drive that in a way. But I don't leave him at that level. Do you know what I do? I begin to show him truths. Go and invest. Start a business. Get a job. These are the principles of savings. Principles of investment. These are how to start and grow a business. This is how to save. This is not how to save. You don't spend. You don't do like this. You don't do like that. I begin to teach him financial principles. Economic laws. Then, if you now do a combination of that grace thing you did for him and the truths you have taught him, the sky will be his limit. Do the grace and leave him at that level. Don't disciple him. He's going to be a smelling saved man. You don't give birth to a child and leave him in the hospital. After you've given birth to him in the hospital, grace, you bring him back to the house to train him truth. So see our problem. Sunday after Sunday, what kind of gospel are we feeding people with? You are telling them what Jesus has done for them. That's okay. What God will do for them. That's okay. Showing them the promise of God. That's okay. But what about showing them how? What about showing them the principles? What about showing them the laws? What about showing them the way, the how to, the technical know-how? It's so interesting that Jeremiah said, I will give you, if you study the book of Jeremiah, I will give you pastors after my heart that will feed you with what? With knowledge. The lacking thing now in the church in Africa is that we are so much concerned with the power thing, the forward and die thing. That's okay. I keep saying that's not a problem. The issue of power, miracles, that's all right. But there's another one. Knowledge. The guy who is beating you in life is not beating you because he has more skills or has more anointing than you or has more handsomeness or more beauty than you. He's beating you because of something he knows and something he's disciplined to do. Something he knows and something he's very disciplined to do. Two reasons people fail in life: ignorance and then indiscipline. Indiscipline is what stops you from doing what you know. Ignorance is that you don't know what you need to know. You don't have knowledge of a thing. That's ignorance. But you can have knowledge of a thing and then you are not disciplined to enforce what you know. You're not disciplined to keep doing what you know. The difference between me and a lot of you is not what we know. Most of you even know more than I know. Difference is in my commitment to keep doing. I find a cause, I stay on it, I give it my life, give it my attention, I keep doing. I'm not in today, out tomorrow. I stay on it and I keep staying on it until I see results. I apply those truths I've gathered, I've acquired through books, through tapes, through videos, through all kinds of whatever, mentorship trainings. And when I start applying those information and staying on it, I begin to see the results. Now, let me shock you. I'm going to talk to you like a father now. Oh. If I give you a tree to cut, an iroko tree, and I give you a sword, let me even do it as an illustration. Come. I just need 3 men to meet me here. 3 men. Let me assume this man is a tree. You come this way. We want to cut this man down now. This illustration. Nobody can cut him down. Just the illustration. And this is Mr. A, this is Mr. B. I want them to cut this tree down. Come. And I give this one a sword. And I give this one a sword. And I put a stone in front of them. And both swords are blunt. And I make them a promise. You have only 1 hour to cut down this tree. You cut down this tree in 1 hour, I'm going to give you $1 billion. Both of them have blunt sword. But there's a stone on the ground. Do you know the natural thing for one of them to do, or both of them? Do you know what to do? The man said, if we cut down the tree in 1 hour, they will give us 1 billion. Wow. Come, let me even make the tree 2. Let's assume there are 2 trees now. So, yes, cut this one, you cut this one. Do you know what they will likely do? Let me shock you. They would likely get down to the tree and start cutting with the blunt sword. Because you know what is in their mind? $1 billion. We must get the $1 billion in 1 hour. So if both of them go cutting the tree, let me assume I'm the third man who is supposed to also cut. Let me assume this is the third tree. And I'm the third man to cut the tree. And I have a stone in front of me with a blunt cutlass. Why these two go and start attacking their tree? You know what I'm going to do? I will bend down and start sharpening the sword. I will sharpen the sword. Sharpen the sword. Sharpen the sword. These guys will be cutting. To you who is watching, it looks like they're the ones making progress. But the shocking thing is that they are not making any progress. Activity does not equal productivity. So they will be cutting and cutting. And you know the problem is that they are dissipating energy. The sword they have is blunt. The tree is going to be hard for them to cut. But guess what? They are still going. Yeah, I'm sharpening. They are going. Yeah, I'm sharpening. My own tree is standing there looking at me. People will think I'm a foolish man. See, people are cutting through. This one is sharpening sword. I'll be sharpening and sharpening and sharpening. 30 minutes into the way, they are still cutting. Once I'm done sharpening my sword, that same 30 minutes, they were cutting. I used the 30 minutes to sharpen my sword. The funny thing is that they are wasting energy and conserving energy. I will sharpen 30 minutes of wasting time cutting, 30 minutes of investing time sharpening. When I get to my own tree, you see that 30 minutes we have left to cut down that tree. They will still be struggling with their own. I will use less than that 30 minutes to bring my own down. Why? Because the sword is more important than the tree. So you want money. The money is not as important as the one who is going to have it. This money can enter your hands and disappear tomorrow. If you don't know the laws of managing money, are you hearing what I'm saying? You want growth in business. That business is not more important than you. That's why Jesus, in choosing his 12 men, each time he comes to one, he will say, follow me. But he doesn't stop there. He will not say, and I will make. And I will make. I will make. I will make. I will make. That is the problem. The church of today does not want training. They don't want making. He said, I will make you. It doesn't start with getting anything. It starts with being made first. Follow me, then I will make you. Then what you want to be is the fishers of men. Becoming the fishers of men is easy when you are made one. You start fishing business. You start fishing money. If it's money you want to fish, you get made for it. If it's money you want to fish, whatever you want to fish, there's a making process. If you miss the process, you miss the product. And you see, the making process is the one that takes time. It's the one that looks like you are not doing activity. You are not on the move. No, they are caging me. They are caging me. But every time is midweek service. Every time is prayer meeting. Every time is training. Every time is come to church. Every time is we are doing all kinds of things. Can't they allow me to go and do business? Can't they allow me to go and do that? Can't they allow me to go and find something to be doing for a living? Ah, I told the guy who plays drum in church, he barbs, he used to barb and all that. I told him, I said, is this what you're going to do for the next 20 years and become a human being? I said, choose one. Choose this business you're doing and end here. Or this thing. Come and stay with me. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Leave this thing you're doing called Bible. And let me put substance in you. Let me sharpen you. When you go back to the business world, you're going to be a Dangote. So which one do you want? He says, I want the second one. I said, will you pay the price? Because what you are living on is 2 naira salary. You want 2,000 naira salary. Would you pay the price for hunger? To sit down, learn, sit down, train, sit down, go through the rudiments, go through the hurdles, go through the pain, go through the tears. Because that process is the most important part of your life. You miss that one, you've missed everything. God is more interested in your being than your having and your doing. It's first being, then you can start doing, then you can start having. There's something where you know and start doing. How you will command money in your direction will be so shocking to people. It's in the knowing. It's in the being. Then it's in the doing. Having becomes natural. Having becomes easy. I'm not talking about abandoning something that is taking your time and then wasting your time sleeping around. Idling around. You see now what Jesus told Peter. Leave this thing you're doing. I don't see any life in it. I don't see any future in it. Leave it and follow me. And I'll make you something better and greater. All those men who were fishing with Peter. When Peter had undergone the process. This is the man we call first pope today. The man we read about in the Bible. The question is, was Peter the only one fishing that day? I think the other fishermen. What is now the distinguishing factor between colleagues who started together? Age mates who started together. People who started business together. People who were born together. People who played Ludo together. People who play Bang Bang Bolo together. What's the difference? It's not in luck. The difference is the kind of process they went through. Kind of process they went through. I was showing my wife, should I call her my wife now? Wife to be. For somebody say I'm still. I was showing her a particular guy. She said, see this guy. This guy was in 400 level when I was in 100 level. He said, blood of Jesus. It's not true. I say, it's true. You see, why is he looking like that? I say, it's process. It's not class that makes people. It's not school that makes people. I meet some of my professors who taught me in school with all due respect. I see them, I greet them, I honor them. When I look at their life, I like, how come the gap? I talk with them and then they can't even understand what I'm saying. It's too far. It's beyond them. They can't comprehend it. And then when I look, I say, God, thank you. So all this time I was busy training myself. God bless you, gentlemen. All this time I was busy working on myself, training myself, developing myself, staying on Okpa. I'll buy one Okpa, eat it the whole day. One bottle of Coke, drink it the whole day. That's what I will stay on. Sleeping on the bare floor, no mattress, no house, no nothing. Taking my bath outside. All those time I was doing that and people thought I was wasting my time. People were saying, nah, what are you foolish? With all this your brain and intelligence. Go on. Do you know I'm even more intelligent now than I went to school? I'm telling you, it's shocking. There are things I know now and I'm wondering, what did I pay school fees for? With all due respect to the school community. The way my intelligence has heightened. They peek at where the thing is operating. If you bring me to Harvard, I'll mess the people up. Because of my doggedity in training, in putting things in myself, in growing myself. But it was painful, it wasn't sweet. I will have money to buy food or buy clothes. I'll rather take it and buy a book. I'll take it and buy a tape. I'll take it and attend the seminar, pay for it and sit down there. And then it seemed like I was wasting my time. I remember when I would go to Benin. And I would stay in Benin for 1 whole week. Because I'm attending a training. And then the money I went with is borrowed money. When I borrowed 35,000 on reaching just the first of arrival for the meeting, I had already blown the whole money buying books. My hotel money, blown. My feeding money, blown. That first day, the whole money finished there. And I had to resort to sleeping at the door, the entrance of the conference hall. I'll find a bench after morning, afternoon, evening session. I didn't take my bath for 7 days. I was buying pure water and washing my face, washing my hand, and brushing my teeth. I had my small shuttle bag. I didn't have a car. I would come out of that bench where I'm lying, hiding one side. Very early in the morning, as early as 5, I would brush. I remember how I would come and sit down in front of the hall, and then I would look about 30,000 people in that building. And I would look, people will be shouting, some of them will be talking, people will be screaming. Like for one man who has worked on himself. And then what are the rest of us doing in the crowd? I said, God, I won't be here. There are 2 places you can be in life, on the stage or in the crowd. Choose one. On the spotlight or in the dark. I would cry. Say, in that meeting I was crying. There are people who came there for acquaintances. Some came to have new social networks. Some came to chase women. Some came to have new boyfriends. Some came to see how they will market themselves so they can find somebody who will marry them. Some came for all kinds of nonsense. But I came there with a cry in my heart. God, how will I live and end this life unnoticed? How will I live and end this life without making impact? How will I live and end this life without touching lives, without touching people's souls? Now look at the crowd again and say, this is a place where there's no identity. Nobody knows the names of crowds. Hey, can I show you? We all know that Jesus fed 5,000 people. But please tell me the name of the 5,000. So when you talk about that story, Jesus fed 5,000 people. Tell me the names of the 5,000 people he fed. You don't know them. Because the crowd doesn't get crowned. Hey. You don't coronate the crowd. You don't put kingship on them. You have to exit there. You press through it. You press through. You press through. And Jesus, in teaching us how to leave the crowd, showed us the story of the man in the Bible who was paralyzed. Having tried to press him through the crowd, and the crowd was resisting him, you know what he did? He opened from the top of the roof. So if you want to leave the crowd, go up. You cannot go up if you're in the crowd. You have to leave the crowd and go up. He taught us again using Zacchaeus. Crowd of people were following Jesus and following him, and Jesus was just gisting and talking normally. Gisting. He never called anybody's name while they were talking. The moment one short guy went on top of the tree, Jesus shouted, Zacchaeus! He didn't say, hey you there. He called him by his name. He said, Zacchaeus, come down from the tree because today I'm going to eat in your house. So all those crowds who were following him, why did he call one person's name? Because there's no name in the crowd. Is somebody, you didn't hear what I'm saying? I don't think they are getting it. I determined in that program as I won't be here. I have to leave this week. But I paid the price. 7 days of hunger, 7 days of starvation, 7 days of, not taking my bath, 7 days of no accommodation. And guess when I did that stuff? As an undergraduate. I'll leave my lectures. I'm serious. I'm telling the truth. I'll leave those things they are doing in the classroom, wasting people's time there. In the name of teaching them things that they taught their grandfathers. That are no longer applicable in present day society. I'll take off and look for contemporary information. Things that can be applied today and can work. I will take off and go and look for them. And I'll come back and try to get notes and get some textbooks and cover up for a few things. Oh, who can help that baby? I would do all that. People thought I was wasting my time. They would say, this guy is just here to waste his time. Are you sure he's really here to school and all blah, 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 blah. Today we know who is who. I don't have all the time to waste time. I want to end up in now in just 5 minutes time. I'll let you guys go. The church is in the mess it is because we didn't balance these things. We are very complacent people. Am I saying those of you who are in school to leave your lectures? That's what I'm saying. Attend those your lectures, write your quiz and all that. But look, beyond that classroom, there's another life room. There's another one called life room. Beyond your classroom, there's life room. When you finish from there, the real life is waiting for you. What are you doing about that one? What are you doing about it? Oh, God. Those 3 levels remaining. I dealt with mindset. I dealt with attitude. Lifestyle is what I've been talking about. It's called principles. That's the 3rd one. Lifestyle. 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 Lifestyle talks about the way you live. It talks about the principles you live by. The principles you live by. That's what it is. That's what it is. When you wake up in the morning, how do you live? What is your philosophy about investment? What is your philosophy about savings? What is your lifestyle? Check Jacob, check Esau. The difference between both of them is lifestyle. Why Jacob has a culture of savings, Esau has a culture of spending. Why Jacob has a lifestyle of planning, Esau has a lifestyle of leaving things to chance. Why Jacob has a lifestyle, a philosophy of urgency. The other one thinks time is at his mercy. He thinks he can afford to waste time and do whatever he wants to do. Look at the 10 virgins. Lifestyle separated them. Why the 5 who had enough oil has value for time, has value for patience, has value for planning. You see, they plan. The meeting is going to start by 8. Yes, but what if the man doesn't come by 8? Do you know my appointment this morning was for 8 o'clock? 8 a.m. breakfast appointment. I was already there. You don't have any excuse, my friend, in life. It is your indiscipline that is your problem. You don't have any reason. I was already there. No excuse. Got home, I had to check my wardrobe. Are my clothes ready for this appointment? Is my shoe ready? Is my this? My car has to be ready. Everything has to be ready. I made sure I was up when I should have been up. Prepared when I should have been prepared. Hit the road when I should hit the road. No emergency. And I was there at record time. Did the things I wanted to do at record time. Left in order to leave. And then I've achieved so much today alone. And I'm still standing. Because I'm in control of the way I live. Lifestyle. The 5 foolish virgins don't value planning. They don't value they don't value goal setting. What was it that destroyed the prodigal son? Lifestyle. He was given wealth, enough money in his bag. They shared the profits, the proceeds of the estate, and gave him a lot of money. The guy took it, and the Bible says he squandered it all. Lifestyle. He doesn't have principles of investment. He doesn't have value for saving. He doesn't have value for buying shares, buying stock. That's not his problem. He doesn't have philosophy of investing in his mind. His problem is, what is the next car in vogue? Let's buy. That's why I watch guys who hit jackpot through Yahoo or whatever. Give them few years, they become poor. I'm broke. Why? Because there's a lifestyle, spending and all that, frivolity. Lifestyle. Guys spend everything. And the Bible says, sooner than he knew, he began to beg. From begging, he began to work in a man's house. And then they gave him a job to do what? Feed pigs. And then not just that he was feeding pigs, he's really struggling to eat from the same table, from the same pot that pigs were feeding from. A king's son. A king's son. And some lifestyle, if you don't stop, they will stop your destiny. Some of your spending habits. There are scriptures I can show you for time's sake. I just wanted to round up this and move. Some of you are too much of talk. Joseph learned his lesson finally. You talk anyhow. Some of your impulsive spending, no culture of saving, wrong lifestyle. Some of the company you keep, some of the way you dress and you don't care. It's a free world. I'm free to do what I want to do. It can stop you, my friend. What shocks me is that everything that happened this morning, the one that got to me was the fact that the man said, I have all your messages. He said, I follow all your posts online. I said, how do you get there? He said, I pray on it. I became even more careful. Do you know what we're talking? Somebody came in to see him. But somebody said, Rev, man of God, I saw like you are here. I've caught you today. We stood up, we hugged. He said, you both know yourself. He must say, sir, this man. I say, small one. Lifestyle. So imagine I was maybe jumping out of that place and then somebody say, Your Excellency, what are you doing with this kind of person? This guy is a Yahoo boy. He's a scammer. So these fake prophets who call people's color of pants and all that. Say, no, this one is a sound teacher of the word. This is the type of man you need to hear. Lifestyle. Are you the type of person who will lie? When you lie here, it's like Satan himself. Satan himself will hear your lie and start wondering, come, who gave birth to that guy? I'm the father of lie. Is there another father besides me? When you make promises here, the way you break it. How do you treat relationships? Lifestyle. Do you value relationships? There is 1,000,001 things I can say about lifestyle. Build principles around your life. That's how you have a life with style. It's called lifestyle. There is a life you need to work on. It gives you a lifestyle. Work on these things, my friend. What are the things that hinders you from becoming the man that you dream of becoming? It could be your lateness. He destroyed Ananias and Sapphira. You've cried to God, prayed to God for a business opportunity, and then your lateness for an appointment that should have delivered you what you've been asking for. Destroyed it. I've seen it happen to a lot of people. Lifestyle. Your culture is built around excess sleep. Your culture is built around excess sleep. Lifestyle. This is what the church needs to hear. For want of time. Number four. It's called skill set. You see, philosophy of wealth I'm showing you. Number one is mindset. Number two is what? Attitude. Go and get the tape and know what that one is. Then number three is what? Lifestyle. Attitude is more of a thing of the heart, your value system, the kind of culture, the kind of your belief system. But lifestyle is your practical way of living, your principles. Do you know you can be a good man but have wrong lifestyle? Yes. Lifestyle has nothing to do with being a good guy. Lifestyle has everything to do with principles. I've seen guys who are very unethical but very principled. And I get shocked by how they do it. They can drink, smoke, womanize, but when they come to work here, I go to some bank end of the year programs and they are awarding some stuff. It's not the Christians they're even awarding. It's all those boys who are very lousy. You see them in clubs and all that over the weekend. On Monday, they are serious with work. Have you not seen such lecturers? I used to have some like that. You see them in school, very disciplined, working. They don't miss their class. They don't come late. When you go to Flavor, you see, you ask them, how are you able to do it? You say, this is my social life. That one is my career life. That's lifestyle. So we have good Christians. They don't lie. They don't smoke. They don't drink. They don't womanize, but very unprincipled. They are latecomers. They don't value time. They don't value management. They don't value goal setting. They don't value planning. They don't value vision. That's lifestyle. They don't value urgency. That's lifestyle. Now, skill sets. Why the first mindset deals with the way you think. Attitude deals with your belief. It's a heart issue. Then, the third one, lifestyle, deals with how you live. Mindset deals with how you think. Attitude deals with your belief system. Your belief system. Then, lifestyle deals with how you live. Of course, it's even your belief system that informs how you live. Then the fourth one now is what you call skill set. Skill set now deals with what you do. Are you seeing the way it works? Skill set now deals with what you do. For instance, my lifestyle. How do I live my life? Watch me every day. You understand my lifestyle. I'm a man who values training. I'm a man who values reading. I'm a man who values personal development. I'm a man who values people. I love people. I'm a man who likes training people. I'm a man who likes doing, things that improves on other people's life. That's lifestyle. That's lifestyle. There are clothes you give me now to wear, I'll throw them away because it's not part of my lifestyle. Now, there's what you call skill set. It's what I do. This one deals with practical skills you develop. Practical skills you develop. Practical skills, we call them vocational skills. vocational skills, technical know-how, vocational skills. Everybody needs one. If you are a church person, get one skill. It's not enough to just learn how to read and write. It's not enough to know how to be a good guy and how to be a good girl. It's not enough to know how to dress fine and look beautiful. Get one skill. Know how to do one thing. Know how to create one thing. It can be a product. It can be a service. I don't know if I'm talking to you guys. Know how to do one thing. Know how to do one thing. Vocational skills. This is where developing your talents come into place. This is where developing your skill, your gifting is coming into place. You sing, take it beyond, develop it, add skills to it. You play on the keyboard, take it beyond, add skills to it. These are philosophies of wealth. Because the world does not pay gifted people, they pay skillful people. The world does not pay talented people, they pay skillful people. It's just like my son, when he snaps me, I know the guy is skillful. So I don't need any confusion or need any, come and sample whatever. I look at your work. When he does video coverage for me, like the one we're doing this morning, I look at it. There are a few things I would check for. He will even know I'm checking for those things. And this guy knows what he's doing. He has developed himself. Like my son, when he plays on the keyboard and he strikes something, if he's not there, it's the way I feel sometimes. He plays some things on the keyboard. He has developed himself. That's what he calls skills. That's the kind of person, if I'm going to London now, I can be proud to say, join me in the aircraft. Because I know if we get there and he plays, I will feel proud because he can compete with the guys there. You sing, develop it, let it go beyond I know how to sing. You may have a good voice but not have skills. You are highly lifted up. Your voice is sounding very beautiful, but you don't know keys. You don't know how to modulate. So the keyboardist gives you a key, and then you go on a different key with a good voice. So the voice is very good, but you jump the key. You don't even know what you. That's a lack of skill. You have a good voice. That thing is called potential. You need to harness it to become skills. Skills are marketable potentials, marketable talents. That's what you call skills. It's talent that you have refined and reformed to a point the world can patronize it. See now, I can speak English, but you see, beyond speaking English, I have communication skills. My ability to pass these words that I'm speaking, form them in such a way that it can pass information. It can make you understand what I'm saying. It's what you call communication skills. I can be talking and nobody's understanding me. If I speak and nobody understands me, I have not communicated. So if you like, what's that guy's name? That my friend's name from Benin, Edo State. Is it Patrick? Is it Idiabon or what they call it? The guy speaks very like a serious, bombastically, and stupid English he speaks. When he finishes speaking, nobody understands what he's saying. He just collects you from where you are going to and throw you in another direction. And then, what's the meaning of all that? People may clap for you, and then what are they clapping for? Reason. Or no reason. Hey. You've not communicated. You are just talking. So if you want to be a skillful communicator, you want to be an appreciated communicator, a communicator that can be invited before kings, invited before experts, technocrats to speak, and then people will listen to you. You need to take your speaking to a point of skill. You see, everything I do, when I talk, when I move, the way I look, the way I I carry myself, the posture, the charisma, all those things are all part of communication skills. The illustrations I give, practical examples I give, all those stuff I do, they are all part of my communication ability, communication skill. There's some people who say, sir, I'm not naturally gifted in any area. Maybe that's true. So I'm not naturally gifted to sing like you sing. I don't have any natural passion for keyboard. I don't have any natural passion for anything. You can get one. You can learn a vocation. There are people who can bake very well, yet they don't have any, they didn't have any natural inclination to baking, but they learned it as a vocation. Your passion can become your skills. At the same time, you can get a skill in areas that you don't have passion in. That means nobody is permitted to be without a skill. Nobody is permitted to be without one vocational skill. If he's cooking, go and learn how to cook. One day they may throw you out of the job you're doing, and all you fall back to is that thing you went and learned in catering school. Can I tell you something? You cannot transfer certificate as inheritance to your children. Develop a skill that can become a business your children can inherit. Cooking, baking, it can become a very big catering industry. Your children can inherit. Develop ICT skills. You're living in ICT age now, and there's money online, my friends. Heavy wealth is online. I'm not saying Yahoo wealth. Not Yahoo wealth. There's heavy wealth. People are making millions by solving problems all over the world online. Facebook. What did he do to become a billionaire today? Is it not that just getting the world to interact together through social media? Facebook. And then WhatsApp is somebody's brainchild. Instagram is somebody's brainchild. You may not develop a social media handle or platform, but you can develop content. You can develop software if you can. Get a skill, my friend. Get a skill. Some their own skills now is comedy. They found that they have parrot mouth, they talk too much, but they have used that. They've turned that deficiency into a skill. They are making money with just talking. And they are using social media to make money through it. Comedy. Some is entertainment, music. Just sharpened it and then. You can train yourself on how to make a website. That's a skill. See the guy I brought from Lagos at that time to come and do a business training here. What was that thing was doing here? Skill. It's called infopreneurship. He just goes online and gets information on a few things and then just packages it in slide and put it in PowerPoint and he's just pressing. And then he's making money out of doing that. What people don't have time to go and learn, he goes and learn them and come and teach them. They pay him. That's what it is. There's a skill. He has developed this speaking skill. And then he's selling information through communication. And then he's making money. Your own can be master of ceremony. Develop it. Be the kind when you speak here, even AY will be wondering, how can I get you to moderate my program? And how much do I pay you? See Helen Paul. She has developed skills. Do you know there's a kind of, there are times she talks, you think it's a child who is talking. Mommy. Oh, my mommy. Mommy, not you, Wakaka. You see things, and you see women laughing, people laughing, everybody's, and they are paying her millions for doing that. How is Emanuela making money? Skill. Mark Angel, skill. Your own may not be comedy, it could be tailoring. That's a skill, vocational skill. Yours may not be tailoring, it could be braiding hair. Don't look down on it. No matter how much you look down on tailoring, don't forget the tailor made the governor's clothes. No matter how much you look down on some of those little skills, painting. Government house is painted by human beings. Pastor Rock is painted by human beings. Don't wait until you develop an LG AC and say, I've built an air conditioner or built a car like Innocent. Did Innocent start by building cars? He started by building rubbers, rubber plates, rubber buckets, rubber tank, rubber chair. That's why I said that today is building cars. Start from somewhere, my friend. Stop being a greedy man. Stop being a man who, even if you have a job now, diversify. You won't inherit that. Your children will inherit that job. If anything happens to you now, maybe you die, God forbid. They will say, let your son come and take your position. They will feel it before your burial day, sir. So while you are working, when you come back, don't on Telemundo and start watching. Get your pen and paper and start planning a business. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? Okay. That's how you're going to raise a dynamic church. Oh. All this nonsense confusion going on in Africa, people are falling down and dying. People are seeing people's pants and seeing people's bra and all that. That's confusion. You're going to raise a dynamic church by. Some of you is writing, you do. Develop it. Some of you have ability to write and you think, do you know you can edit people's work? You can edit the work of professors. Go and develop skill in that area. God has given you skill in all these lexics and structures and all those things, all those linguistic stuff. Go and develop it further and begin to apply to people who write books but they don't know how to edit it. They can write things. You now take those things that they write and put it in clean grammar. Put it in clean sentences and tenses. They will pay you for doing that. Some of you, it could be that you have teaching ability. Anything they teach you, you catch it. Some of you are in school. You sit down in the mathematics class, they teach you just one little matrix, one little calculus, or one little, algebra, they teach you whatever. And you can catch it at the speed of light. And you just carry the whole knowledge and unlock it, not knowing that there are people who are looking for, who have the ability to break it down to little fragments of understanding. Some of you is physics that is in your brain. If you carry physics here, you are going to scatter everybody's brain. Not just that you know it so much, you also know how to pass the information. Develop it, that could be a starting point of a whole international British school. Start teaching JAM students. Start teaching YX students. Start teaching students preparing for NECO. Start teaching students preparing for GCE. God will not give you any allocation until He finds your location. He will not. Stop asking God to bless you. Look within you and find what you can do. It could be photography. Develop that skill. It could be videoing. Develop that skill. You can become the next video editor, the next video man or cameraman of His Excellency, the President of this country. It all boils down to whether you develop it or not. You paint, develop it. You can go and learn how to screed. I won't even stay long on this one because I want to close now. You see how the thing is flow? These are all philosophies of wealth. So you are asking God, give me, give me, give me. No, He's also asking you, give me channels. Give me channels. Give me channels. Stop asking me for provision. Give me channels. Because if you are crying to Elijah, Elijah is also going to tell you, go and borrow vessels, not a few. You're crying to God, He's also going to tell you, go and make provisions of channels available, so I can make provisions of my resources available to you. If you're crying to Jesus, God, please. We've toiled all night and got nothing. He's also going to tell you, okay, throw in your nets. You're going to have to give Him something to work with. Where are your nets? So I'm going to say, hey, fishes appear. No. He's going to say, throw your net. You come to Jesus and you're crying, oh, Father in heaven, Jesus our Savior, wine has finished, give us wine. He will tell you, go and fill up the whole jars with water. And when you are finished, draw from the jar and go and give the master of the ceremony. When you come to Elijah and cry, Eli, 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 our axe head fell down. We borrowed the axe head. He's going to tell you, show me the spot where the thing fell. He's not going to do any magic until you show him the exact spot. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Show me a place in the Bible where Jesus did a miracle without. There must be channel. I know why some of you are looking at me the way you're looking at me. I know what that look means. The way you think I'm a wonder, you too can be a wonder. Just sit down. Stay focused and then build on something. Don't be running up and down. Skill set. There are many more things to say in that area, but I don't want to even talk for you. You braid hair. You don't know what you're sitting down on. Next Sunday, I will do a business service. So that when I do business service, what I will basically do in that service is to teach on all this one I'm teaching now. Get it is important, but now I'm going to do more on packaging and branding. Because the truth of the matter is that some of you here have skills, I know. You can braid, some of you can do some amazing things I've seen. Some of you even drive keke and all that. But now, we need to show you how to carve out a niche. How to build leverage. Because you're looking down on this thing. How can you be struggling to pay tax, but you have fish in the river? Jesus to Peter, why are you struggling to pay tax? Go to the river, catch that fish there. In the mouth, bring out coins and come and pay. What was Jesus teaching Peter? You eat from where you walk. Your resources is in the field you are tilling. You don't till any field. Don't complain about hunger. Stop. Jesus is not a scammer. He's not a Yahoo boy. He doesn't do magic. The laws are very, very clear. A lot of Christians, actually, some of you don't believe that some of the things you drink can fetch you billions. You don't believe in it. You're waiting for white collar job. But that thing you're doing can become another person's white collar job. If you develop it, you can employ people and become another man's white collar job. People will queue up to write application and with green helmet like this. The same way you call Taxify on phone. And you find their numbers online. You just key in their whatever website and then find numbers and call. They will ask which location. The last one that took me when I arrived at the airport in Lagos, just called him and then he came. Within 1 second, he was already at the airport because they have a lot of outlets. So they saw at the airport, they called, he was there. In fact, the number they called is not the guy. They called their office. They said, okay, where's your location? They say, airport. He said, okay, let me send you a number you will call. He's at the airport already. They called and then they found the Corolla waiting there. I just went there. Which direction, sir? I showed him the estate I was going to. He just keyed it into his Google. He doesn't know the place, never been there for the first time. The Google map was the one leading him. You see the way the guy was talking to me? Very decent, very neatly dressed, AC in the car, good music, driving with caution. And he took me straight to the estate. The moment I arrived here, the same phone, he just read the amount of money I was to pay. And he showed me, this is your amount. There's nothing like pricing. You see the amount live facing you there like that. And you pay. And it turns and goes back. You see, the world is becoming easier But it's becoming complex and harder for people who do not think, people who do not know what to do. Exit 5. Look within a boy's state. What do people need here? What are people lacking? Fill in the vacuum. Go and get my book, The Winning Business, and study those 4 indicators of business opportunity. You understand better? What are people lacking? What are people crying for? Anyway, people are crying for something. There's opportunity to make well. Anyway, people are lacking something they are looking for. Anyway, people are finding it hard to get. They want things to be a bit easier. Fill in that gap. Fill in that gap. That's why I started doing this thing from mindset. So that you first of all get a mindset and then it trickles down. So, this. Because it's how you think, everything starts with how you think. How do you see problems? As problems. When I see problems, I see opportunities in them. And then finally, it's called the G factor. That's what you call the God factor. That's what you call the grace factor. If God is not involved, the idea will not evolve. If God is not involved, the business will not evolve. If God is not involved, the ministry will not evolve. If God is not involved, all your talent and your skill will not evolve. So what makes the difference between a man who is very skillful and then he's still struggling and failing, and the other man has little skills but is having high success, is grace. Grace is God's riches at Christ's expense. Grace is God in the race. When God is in the race, there's zero disgrace. So get the mindset, get the attitude, get the lifestyle, get the skill set, but don't trivialize God factor. Commit your ways into God's hand and He will. One with God is majority. By strength, no man will prevail. So if you want to do everything on your own and minus God from the equation, you're going to have hard battles. Because the marketplace is not a normal place. The marketplace is not just a physical place. The marketplace is a place of warfare. The marketplace is a place of battle. The marketplace is a place of contests. And the Bible says, for we wrestle not against what? Flesh and blood, but against principalities and power. I found out what can defy a man's intelligence. What can defy a man's knowledge. What can defy a man's wisdom? What can defy a man's technical know-how? A man's wealth of understanding of how to do it in. On how to do it in. A man's deepest skills. He has knowledge. He has eloquence. He has all the skill set. He has a sound mindset. But he's still failing. He's still defeated in life. I found out one thing that can be responsible for that. Is the absence of God factor. Is the absence of grace. Is the absence of favor. Is the absence of God's mercy. You see, this is a balance, my friend. So, there are people who have all the other ones I've talked about. They don't have the G factor. You are wondering, is this guy not working hard? Is he not trying? Is he not making effort enough? Why is he still where he is? The issue is not that he doesn't have those ones. It's this last one he doesn't have. Grace is God in the race. That's G factor. And then what has even shocked me the most is that there are people who may not have so much of the other ones I've mentioned. Minimal skills. Little principles at their command. They are even weak. They don't have too much of strength. They don't have too much of whatever, too much of knowledge. But they have too much of God. And they are still winning in the battle. These are the ones who take God seriously. These are the ones who do not play with their tithes. These are the ones who do not play with givings, sacrifices. I go to government house like I was with His Excellency this morning. And and then Of course, when I was even praying for him, I told him, I was praying at the point, I said, well, we pray that he won. Thank you, Lord, for the... But it's not even that the guy won that is the issue. The major issue is that we knew he was going to win. The principles were all clear. The sacrifices on the altar. Those guys there, there's something they know. You go to the underworld, you see it's the same thing. You don't play with the altar. You are a Christian, you want to succeed, you want to be wealthy. How? By struggle and hustle, you will fail. What's the condition of your altar? What's the condition of your secret place? What's the quality of your sacrifice? Can I shock you? If a man wants to give birth to a baby, wants to pregnant his wife, what does he do? He gets into her, makes love with her, and then releases sperm. Is that right? And then fertilization takes place, and he gives birth to a baby after 9 months. In most cases, a man enters a wife and then she can't conceive. But he released sperm. They go and check the woman. She's okay. They check the man. They say, okay. The fault is from you, sir. He said, what is the problem with me? He said, low sperm count. What is sperm? Sperm is sin. See this whole you like this. Come here. See how you're looking very fine and fair. Have you seen this guy? This guy is sperm. Water. Then has now become a full-fledged man. I say he was water. Just something somebody poured. That's what came like this one. Have you seen the seed of a maize before? You put it on the ground. After a while, yam seedling, you put it in the ground. After a while, see the life we live in. See the things God has put in place to teach us His ways and His principles. We don't understand. I've tried to explain how this thing happened. How me who is talking like this with brain, what? How did I form into this? So now, another man puts his own, he can't get this thing. He puts sperm on, but he can't form this thing. You know why? Low sperm count. So God was telling me, the reason some people are struggling, in spite of everything they are doing in life, yet they are not getting outcome, is low seed count. You see, because if you want to see some of the doors that are opening for me and some of the kings who are needing my attention now, if you know what altar can do for you, if you want to see what you have not seen before, do what you've not done before. Some of you need to go and improve the state of your altar. Maybe it's your prayer life. You are a businessman, you are a career person, you are a student, you have been in an office for many years, you are promoting other people. You've not been promoted. Check the state of your spiritual life. People who you are better than in skills and knowledge are leaving you there. It could be that they have something extra beyond just skills and knowledge. See the marketplace, for instance. See every sector of life. The university, the banking sector. Like you who work in the bank. You think it's everybody who works there who came there with normal eyes? There's some who before they come out, they kiss the tortoise. And they see a fine young man who is intelligent, who is capable of it. He can kiss tortoise and keep you there. And everyone, they are kissing tortoise and they are getting promoted. You stay there, you won't know why. Because you have become a normal human being. Christians are not meant to be usual. They are meant to be unusual. So you are so usual. No prayer altar. No worship altar. No sacrificial altar. No blood on your altar. No fire on your altar. It's dry. Yet you are calling on the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. You're calling, where is the Lord God of Elijah? Fire will not come. Before fire came down, check what Elijah puts. God appeared to Solomon in the night and said, Solomon, ask me anything you want. You have provoked me. Before that provocation, before that thing, God said to Solomon, ask me. Check, 1,000 cows had gone down. You can't defeat a man with a strong altar. Curse Israel for me, Balaam. Curse these people for me. He opens his mouth to curse, blessing comes out. Opens his mouth to curse, blessing comes out. He said, what are you saying? I said, you should curse them. He tries again. He said, look, those guys have stronger altar. He said, surely there's no enchantment against the house of Jacob. Neither is there any divination against Israel. I can't curse he that the Lord has not cursed. Battles are lost or won on altars. The battle of your business, the battle of your career, the battle of your education, the battle of your marriage, the battle of whatever you are doing in life can either be won or lost on the basis of. Don't let people confuse you with some of these hyper nonsense teachings going on everywhere. Christianity has not lost its real doctrines. We are the ones tampering with the real things that should be helping us. I did this when I was in school, my friend. And I know Christian ladies. Those days in school, it's not like people are doing. I don't know what kind of school you guys are doing. Some of you were in school. When I was in university those days, I used to know Christian ladies because they were on fire. In some dangerous fellowship. I come to fellowship and a lecturer is harassing them. Huh? No, they do. Collect seed. Come. You go and put it on the altar. This lecturer is harassing me. I'm going to fail his course. He's harassing me. They will kneel, they pray, drop seed. The next time we are back for the next semester, the kind of testimonies we used in church those days was so shocking. I dropped a seed of social on the altar and I did with a prayer. I prayed dangerously on the altar. I did fasting. That professor who said that I wasn't going to graduate didn't know where he gave me A. And I graduated. He said he was going to make sure he will keep me here with an F, extra year. He didn't know he gave me A, and I graduated. But that business is not doing well. Find a sacrifice and sack what is not fine. When you have prayed and prayed and prayed, and it looks like God is not answering, the God that answered by fire. You know why he answered by fire? When he sees sacrifice, fire comes down. You talk. His ear is too busy. Everybody's talking to him. Once he smells sacrifice, is it not where the carcass gather that the vultures gravitate? You see? Once God sees carcass, it comes down to consume. Even when you are not inviting him, once he sees sacrifice, he's invited. He comes uninvited. So, God, you have awoken deities. What meanest thou this thing you did? He said, God, I was just sacrificing. I didn't call you here. What are you coming here to do? He said, no. You summoned us. Is somebody catching what I'm saying? It's called the G. Employ the power of grace. Employ the power of the G factor. Stop struggling. By strength shall no man prevail. That's what David did before he brought down Goliath. See themselves. He went with 5 smooth stones. And those 5 smooth stones symbolizes the name of Jesus. And Jesus is grace. And then see what he was saying to Goliath. He said, you come to me with bows, with arrows, and with spear. But I come to you in the name of the Lord God of hosts, the Lord of the army of Israel, whom you defy. Saul comes to you in the arm of the flesh. He comes to you with his military experience. Which is why when David was about to go confront Goliath, Saul thought it was the same techniques. He put on him his armory. And David said, no wonder he has been losing the battles. He took the thing off. He says, I don't need this stuff. You might say, are you kidding me? He said, I'm not going to put it on because I have not approved of it. I have not tried it. He didn't say it was too heavy for me. You know, some of you thought David meant, this thing is oversized. No. He wore it and said, no, I have not proved this thing yet. What it means is, I don't know how to do things in the flesh. When a lion came and took one of my father's sheep, I didn't kill him in the flesh because I'm too small. I'm only a 14 years old boy. I went after him in the spirit. When a bear came and took my father's sheep, I did not go after him in my flesh. I went after him by the Spirit of God and I devoured it. He says, so I'm not used to doing it my own way. Take the armory out. Let me show you what you've been lacking some. It's the G factor. So put on the whole armor of God. Not this armor. He goes out there and challenges a guy who King Saul, with professorship in military, couldn't bring down. And a shepherd boy, because he went with the G factor, brought him down. Time will fail me to furnish you with many other case studies in the Bible. Christians of this age are not wise. We have rebranded church so much that we have rebranded the major things that make this institution the most powerful in the world. We've taken them out. There are two major things the devil is fighting in these last days. Number one is the issue of prayer. And number two is the issue of giving. All over the world now, that is the two major things he's stamping on. These two things is what give your Christian life weight. Then you don't need to pray again. God has done it all. So just sleep, enjoy his grace. Enjoy his grace. Without prayer, prayer is the key for unlocking grace. Go and see what Jesus said about prayer. Then you understand. Then they are tampering with giving. Tithes. Why are you in a tithe corner? You're not paying tithe. All these people who are arguing tithe issues are killing you without you knowing it. This is a tithe is Old Testament thing. In the New Testament, we don't pay tithe. Hey, who is the high priest of the New Testament? It's Jesus. In the order of who? Melchizedek. When Abraham met Melchizedek, what did he pay? Tithe to him. If Jesus is a high priest in the New Testament, in the order of Melchizedek, are you saying that we should abolish Melchizedek? I'm not here to talk about the issue of tithes. But you see the way I don't want too much of Rema. I'm okay with just the word, the way it is. Don't come and be giving me all those sort of, people are on the internet giving you proofs, this other proof, that other proof. I don't care about that. Where God puts a boundary, I want to respect it. God said, do, I want to do. So even if they have abolished tithe, I'm not going to abolish you. I will keep paying that tithe because it's working for me. Arab men have sense more than Christians. Arab men come to Lagos, come to redemption camp, and they build estate for Adeboye, for redeemed Christian church, and they pay tithe to the man. They say they kept doing it for more than 7 years. One day the man stopped them and said, come, I've never asked you guys why you do this thing. How can you come to me? I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor. You guys are Muslims. And you come to me and pay tithe and build houses here. Why are you doing it? The man said, sir, we understand your secrets. We know the secrets of the prosperity of the Jews, of the Christians. He said, please, the moment he started trying this thing, our businesses have changed. We are not going to stop, even if you stop us. Before we started, we knew how we were. When we started doing this thing, we saw how our life, our businesses, the quality of our living changed completely. And then the man was teaching his church. He said, look at the heathens. How they have more understanding than we who are church. We play with tithe. We play with honor. We play with offering. We play with sacrifice. How do we succeed? Even prayer we play with. How do we succeed? Is Obuni man playing with that? Is an occultic man playing with those things? Every month they sacrifice people. You see them cutting people's breasts and all that. It's to service their altars. God didn't say you should kill any human being. He only demands of you the things that are necessary to keep your altar on fire. And then it's hard for you to do it. Why would you not have wahala? Stand on your feet and let's pray. This night, your prayer should be, Lord, open my eyes to understand these things. The issue of this mindset and all the things Pastor has talked about in the Philosophy of Wealth series, attitude, lifestyle, skill set, and then the G factor. Talk to God. Ask God to help you. Having heard all the things you've heard, can you pray? G factor requires that you pray. God will not be involved until a man prays. A prayerless man is simply telling God, I'm all right. A prayerless man is simply telling God, I don't need you. Pray without ceasing. Just 1 minute is all we have and we are out. We already run out of time. Just go ahead and pray. Emmanuel. 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 Your name Emmanuel.
We believe you've been transformed by the wonders of God's Word. For additional information about us, you can visit our website at www.princetonhills.org. You can also send us a mail at info@princetonhills.org or call
070-331-66762 or 081-31-555-747.
Princeton Hills Ministries, raising global leaders.